Dear students, we are going to start History Chapter 1, and the topic is the First War of Independence 1857. The uprising of 1857. Students, you must be aware that the British, now it was already 100 years of the British staying in India, and during this 100 years, the East India Company tried to extract wealth, natural resources, and all the economy of the country, and was taking it to England. So seeing these, the Indians, they were paid less, they were not respected, they were not allowed to meet the higher officials, etc. So the Indians, they planned to wage a war against the British, or rather to remove them out from the country. So the first step was taken in 1857 in Meerut at Gorakhpur. Mangal Pandey and group, that is was the military group, they revolted against the Britishers. And due to this, the company rule in India ended. The East India Company had to go back, and the real British crown came into India and established a British rule which was run by the Parliament of England. Now, the causes for the uprising of 1857, there are many causes. They are classified into different groups, and the first is the political cause. According to the political cause, the company started its territorial expansions. Now, the company established itself firstly in Bengal, when in the Battle of Plassey in June 1757, it defeated the Nawab of Bengal. And thereafter, they came up with many strategies in order to annex territories. The first strategy was subsidiary alliance. According to the subsidiary alliance, the king had to keep the British army in or within his territory. All the expenses of the army were paid by that king, and in replacement, the British army had to protect that king against its enemies. When the expenses went high and the kings were not able to pay the expenses, they had to give away a part of their territories to the British. Secondly was the conquests. In 1843 AD, Sindh was attacked and annexed to the company's rule. Diwan Mulraj of Multan and Chatter Singh Aturwala of Hazara were used as a pretext to annex Punjab in 1849. Next step that they took was the arbitrary doctrine of lapse. According to this, any king or queen who did not have their own son or daughter, means their natural heir, and after the death of that king or queen, the territory would go into the hands of the British. And adoption of children were not allowed. Only permission had to be taken from the British. If they allowed, then only adaptation was possible. Then, in another pretext, the annexation, the unjust annexation of Awadh. Awadh, on February 13th, 1856, Lord Dalhousie annexed Awadh, and he gave an excuse that it was maladministration of Nawab Wajid Ali Shah. He could not control his territories. So, Nawab Wajid Ali Shah was given a pension of 12 lakhs and sent away from his kingdom. Then annexation of Berar. Unable to pay the debt of Lord Dalhousie, in 1853 Berar was annexed and the Nizam was given a pension of 1,80,000 pounds. Sorry, 1,80,000 pounds debt was not being able to pay it by the Nizam, so a part of his territory was taken away. That was, Berar was taken away in pretext of that amount of money. Then the unfair attitude towards the Mughal emperors. The Mughals had ruled over for more than 200 years, and people had started to accept the Mughals as the emperors of India. And Lord Canning, the Governor General, he announced in 1856 that Bahadur Shah and his successors would not be able to use the title of king, and they would have to vacate the Red Fort and live in a small palace given to them. They were to be pensioned off. And actually, the unpopular administration of the company. The company's main motive was to extract money and to carry it to England. They had no favors in mind to help the Indians or to improve the economy or the market of India or the villagers or to construct canals or dig wells, etc. So eventually did not even meet the Indian people. So the the Britishers were very far away. No Indians could go to them with any of their problems. Never the problems were sorted out. India was governed from a foreign land. At that time there was no planes. People had to travel by ships, and the channel connecting Africa and Europe, the channel was not constructed that time. So all the ships from Bombay or from Calcutta, they had to go around Africa to England, and that used to take them at least 6 months to go and 6 months to come back. And all the decisions for India were taken in the Parliament of England. So eventually, to decide any problem or to sort out any problem of India, it took 1 year. This was also a big and major problem that India faced. And the next step of the uprising was the stopping the pension of Nana Sahib. Nana Sahib was the adopted child of Peshwa Bajirao II, who was given a pension. In the early stages, he was given a pension. But later on, the British decided that since he was not the natural heir, so his pension should be stopped. And that is why the people of that area who really loved Nana Sahib, and Nana Sahib was Nawab Peshwa, holding quite a lot of economy. Eventually, he decided to give away his money to the people so that they could fight against the British, and this raised the offspring well in that area. Apart from that, India is a rumorous country, and there was a rumor in India that after 100 years the British term was to expire, and eventually they were to leave. And since they had come and established in 1757, so in 1857 their time was over. So all the Indians got together and they tried to push away the British out of